The folks in the chat have lots of thoughts. And one of the questions that's getting debated is, was the guy that we see on this camera a decoy? And was the real action happening behind the house at the back door? And the reason he's so nonchalant is he's like, my buddy's back there. My buddy's got this. And the other possibility people are debating is whether there's any way he had already committed the crime here. And this was just about trying to get the camera down as opposed to get into the home. I mean, I suppose we can't tell that from looking at the doorbell camera, but anyone have a thought on whether the odds that this guy was just the decoy at the front? We'll start with that one.
I would say if he was the decoy from the front, you're still going to likely see a lot of anxiety in most people because he's now part of this crime. If he is the person in the back who's actually committing the crime, or he's already committed the crime, and now he's just fiddling around with the cameras, he knows what he's done, you're going to see a lot of anxiety. I think the absence of a lot of anxiety and nervousness is profound here. And Jim, you touched on it earlier. I think it is profound. And when you are about to commit or be a part of an extremely violent crime, and you're just walking around casually, whether you're the decoy or whether you've come back to alter the camera, and you can behave like that, that's how you behave in your non-criminal everyday life. And that speaks to his personality. And I think that's what we want people to know about him, along with the facial recognition. They understand that. They have seen that. They could have lived with him or lived next door to him. That is profound.
I'm thinking about the movie Free Solo and the guy who climbs the mountains and doesn't have ropes and, you know, at great risk to himself, and how he just has a different adrenaline gland than the rest of us. They actually studied him. He just doesn't get the adrenaline flowing unless he does truly extreme things, which is not like normal humans. And this guy seems to have a touch of it. I mean, this does not, to me, look like somebody full of adrenaline. He knows he's about to commit this crime. He's not running around panicked on this patio, realizing he's standing on a woman's patio wearing a ski mask in the middle of the night. Like, if anybody drives by, he's potentially toast. He doesn't seem perturbed about it at all. Jim, you were going to say a minute ago what people need to look for right now. Like, this is a real person who's out there right now, and there might be clues in his behavior.
Yeah, and look, we've said from early on, Megyn, that, you know, we can't rule out more than one person involved in this. There's a car involved in this. We can't see this in any of the videos that have been released so far. Is there a driver in there waiting for that? Did something happen at the back door? As complicated as this case is, in many times, even working other complicated cases, and I worked some of them with Mary Ellen back in the day, sometimes, you know, Occam's razor is really what applies here. And we can go overboard with all kinds of conspiratorial elements to it.
Simplest answer is the one.
Exactly. And so at least one guy here, perhaps with someone else in a car, perhaps not. And then they take her to some other location. And that's the second. Well, that would be the third crime scene. The car would be the second. So we'll see where that goes. But that, of course, that can't be ruled out. But I just, as we profilers know, and we've been trained this way, and we now impart this knowledge to other folks doing these type of work, is, you know, what's important is pre-offense behavior, of course, the crime itself, and post-offense behavior, and each of those could have categories to them in terms of what they've been doing all along, and basically, even before this crime, anyone. I'm talking right now to the people out there who are listening, and you have a really big audience, Megyn. So I know a lot of people are going to be watching and listening to this. Someone knows this guy, and they have possibly for weeks, months, or years. They're related to him. They're married to him. Something like that. This guy clearly was So look at the video, and I'll let others out there discuss height and weight and build and all that stuff. The way the guy carries the gun, I think Sigmund Freud would have a field day with how he has the gun right, sort of in front of his crotch area.
Or in his crotch.
But that's for someone else to go. But before the crime, he's distracted. He's busy. He's sort of self-absorbed. Hey, leave me alone. I need some time here. He's on the internet a lot. And of course, he's making these purchases. In the old days, it would be in a store, you walk in and buy stuff. Nowadays, no doubt Amazon or some other service. Does he have money issues? Does he complain about money? Does he have some sort of resentment towards, and again, we're not sure this is about the money. So I'm saying possibly the money issues, or does he have some resentment? Does he always watch the Today Show with Savannah? And is that some fixation he always had? Would he yell at the screen when she would say something? And we're familiar too on this panel with erotomania. That's a condition in the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual that psychologists use and psychiatrists. You know, that's a condition of stalkers, and there's different levels of that too.
They think you have a love relationship when they've never met you.
And I've worked a few of those cases over the years. I know all of us have here, and I've actually been I've been sort of targeted myself in that regard. Handled it, accordingly. Megyn, I no doubt you too. So that's pre-offense behavior. Yeah. Post-offense is, his schedule has been is a miss. He hasn't showed up for work. He hasn't showed up places he should be. Very quiet, very isolated at this point. That is, if he still has Mrs. Guthrie's or not, we don't know. But certainly he'd be paying attention to her at least twice or three times a day. He'd have to visit her. And I'm going to the assumption she's still alive. So he's being very careful. I don't know if he's on email doing these types of email sending off. I think that's someone else. As I said the other day, the guy that steals your phone on the subway is not the one that makes money off selling it to some place to get the material out of it. He just gets his quick $50. Is that this guy's role, or is he just doing this strictly for anger and some kind of frustration? The last part here, now the video gets released about 25 hours ago. He all of a sudden gets frenetic. So whatever this guy's odd behavior was before, if you're around him, things changed. He's putting things in bags and suitcases. He's moving them out. Does he start a fire in a barrel somewhere? Does he get a shovel and start burying things? Go somewhere near water? That's a very possibility. Moving around quickly. Does he change his appearance? Shave a mustache? Cut his hair? That's very possible. Dye his hair, even though you don't really see any hair in that regard. If he has a car, he may be keeping that inside a garage, not wanting it anywhere. If he thinks now he's been seen on video, he may think his car's been on video. And he's still very focused on the media. He may be listening to us in real time. And if he is, please let Mrs. Guthrie's go. And the damage you've caused will be a lot less, including for you. So I'll be glad to open this up to Maureen and Mary Ellen. But these are some of the factors. Look at the video, then look at these behavioral elements that I just listed, and you could be some more in there. And that's the person we're looking for. Then call the FBI and let them know. And I guarantee you someone will follow up on it.
What do you guys have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think right now this guy's very agitated and he's going to have a very short temper, whoever this person is, because he is trapped in a corner and he's a rat. With regard to the front door or the back door, which one? Well, they may have more video that shows him opening that door somehow. And if he did, either it was a practice of Mrs. Guthrie to either accidentally or purposefully leave that door unlocked, which is, I would have a hard time believing that, or they may have had a key. I don't know. And then they opened the back door just to make it look like they came in from the back door.
That's true, because we don't see him struggling with the door at all. We only see him struggling with the Nest camera. So we still remain in the dark about how he actually got into the house. Go ahead, Mary Ellen.
Okay. And to add to what Maureen and Jim have already said, you've got the behavioral modifications to his appearance that he very likely could have engaged in. But what he can't change is his personality. It is what it is. And I think that he's probably glued to the TV, to the radio, listening to people talk about what he's done. And I think one of the real questions that I always have in a crime of extreme violence is, does the offender feel bad for what they've done to the victim? And not to become too graphic, but this was probably so upsetting for Nancy to have this happen to her, to be taken out of her home and put in a car with a stranger. I mean, what she must have gone through is agonizing. What her family is going through is agonizing. I think we have to allow for the possibility. Maureen and Jim and I have seen people like this. They have no empathy for the victim. And so you asked earlier about what he would think about somebody else being pulled over for his crime. That may not have gone well with this offender because he wants credit for what he did, if that's the kind of offender that we're talking about. And I can tell you this, and Maureen and Jim, you weigh in on this. This is the hardest thing for the general public to comprehend, is that there are people that feel no remorse for what they do, no empathy for the victim, and take a great deal of pleasure in what they've accomplished, and that they are outwitting law enforcement in this investigation. If that's what we're dealing with, that puts this person in a whole different category. And that's what we try to do, is we look at all of this behavior and offer it to the investigators to say, you could be looking for this kind of person, the post behavior, but you also could be looking for somebody like this. At this point, we're not sure, but you have to consider the possibility this person doesn't feel anything for the victim and what they've done.
Mm-hmm. And that's the scariest thought of all, because we don't know where Nancy Guthrie is and whether it's possible she's still alive. There was some speculation, we've talked about it, that like an experienced kidnapper takes the medications. Like they actually, it's not because they care about the victim at all. It's that they know, I've got to keep my prize alive and well if I want to get paid. But this guy does not appear to have taken her medication and does not appear to have been in touch. If he didn't write those 2 ransom notes, the first ransom note to the 3 news organizations, and then the follow-up note where there was no proof of life, but really just like a reminder that I've got her, and I'm just assuming that's what's in there. This is the thing I've wanted to get to, though. The Nest camera. It's very interesting that he came up. So, like, keep in mind, one of our theories is that possibly he stalked the house and knew it well, and like knew exactly what his plan was coming up. Another one is possibly he was hired by a friend or a family member of Nancy Guthrie's and told, please go at 1 a.m. and do the following thing, 1:47. And that person would have told him, under the second theory, there's a Nest camera. Now, that could be why he wore a ski mask, or he wore a ski mask because he didn't want Nancy Guthrie to be able to identify him. We don't know. But he shows up there almost surprised. I don't know that there's a Nest camera. And the reason I say he looks surprised is because you see him sort of fiddling with it. He's got his gloved hand. He's kind of fiddling with it. He does the bang, 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 the gentle taps on the Nest camera. He doesn't try that hard. And then he gives up. He's like, I'm going to cover it with vegetation. And he goes and he gets the vegetation and comes back and covers it. And then we never see him get the Nest camera off of the wall. We do see in the post-crime pictures taken after police got involved, the remnants, the receptacle that holds the Nest camera still there.
The housing,
and we know from the sheriff, that they don't have the Nest cameras. The law enforcement does not have the Nest cameras. The perpetrator took them. So eventually the guy does get the Nest camera. And we're told by Ashley Banfield that there was one in the back door too, and he got both of them. Her source said they were destroyed, and the sheriff said, we don't have them. So we believe he destroyed them and took them. But we know for a fact that they were gone. So what do you see? Do you see like a clever man come up and boom, boom, the Nest camera's off, it's destroyed, you see him step on it, and the filming stops? No, that's not what you see. You see him come up, do the tap, tap, tap. He gives up, he gets the vegetation, and then we're not exactly sure what he does after that, because the videos don't all seem sequential, and we're not exactly sure what the sequence of events was. But let me show you. So we had our producer Jake Whitman get a Nest camera and try to get it off of its holder on the wall. And he did this little video. It's very clear. Watch this. Watch.
Okay, Megan, I've installed the Nest doorbell camera on our door to the garage here. And what's interesting is it comes with a little tab, just a little flat tab, almost like a tip of a screwdriver, really. And that's how you remove it from the top. So you just push down and it clicks right off, sort of. There it goes. So it pulls right off that way, and that's how you take it off to charge it, because it is battery powered. It needs to be charged every so often. There's no wires here. And you'll see this plate looks exactly like the one that you see on the house at Nancy Guthrie's house and all the news videos. So it's the same model. And to put it back, you just click it on the base after you've charged the battery, and it's there. And the question is, how do you get it off without the tab? And I was excited because you said we could smash this if we wanted to and you'd pay for it. But you don't need to do that. You actually, just with a little bit of force, you can pull it right off. And the base is still there, undamaged. And actually, this camera is still recording. So if I take this and throw it or put it in my bag, it's still going to be recording for a little bit longer. So I got to think there's still video of that they haven't recovered that might show a different angle of things that we haven't seen. There's no evidence that it was damaged on the front porch. So my guess is it was just taken out of Wi-Fi range, and that's why it disconnected. Or they could have turned her Wi-Fi off. But taking it off the base, like I just did, does not disconnect it in any way. It's still capturing.
That's so interesting. So that's Jake Whitman. Great job there. Taking it off the base is easy and does not stop the filming. And anybody who knows the Nest camera should know that if you have this little key, it's the size of like a key a girl might have for her diary for the listening audience. It's small. It's like an inch large. It pops right off. And so it would take nothing for like an experienced burglar or kidnapper who's by this point probably familiar with Nest cams to know, oh, all I need is this little thing. It's off. And you don't even need this. You saw Jake just wiggle it a little in its cradle and it came right off. So what, and it's small. I mean, you have it, fits right in the palm of your hand. And then we can talk about what happens next because there's not an on-off switch, guys. Getting it off is not enough. Getting it off, it should still be rolling. And there should still be images of the guy getting it off, which maybe Cash has and just hasn't shared. But what does it tell you, just so far, I'll stop it there, that he didn't seem to know how to get it off. He tried. He did the wrong thing with the fist, and seemed to be a bit of an amateur there. Go ahead, Fitz.
Yeah, real quick. The audio from your producer, Jake, was that from his separate mic system or is that some from the Nest camera? There is audio to these cameras too.
I think that's separate. We're going to ask. I'm guessing it's separate. And he did tell me that that this thing has audio, but the default setting from the factory is no audio on. So you'd have to go into the system and turn the audio on if you wanted that, which the odds of Nancy Guthrie,
Well, she didn't.
knowing how to do that. I guess she could have told the Nest camera installer that she wanted that, but we didn't hear audio on what the FBI released. So I'm just going to guess there wasn't any. Keep going.
Maureen, we talked during the break, and you have some insight about these cameras. I think that was great for your audience to put that up there, Megyn, and a good idea for your team's part. Maureen, I'd be curious to hear some of what you were telling me over the break.
Okay, great. But first, Nancy didn't install this, and whoever this person is did not install this Nest camera, or he would know what you just explained to us. But I have a very close colleague that I work with on my team all the time, and he is an IT genius. And he said that with regard, Megyn, this is with regard to how the FBI extracted this data back after people thought it was gone. Would you like to go into this now, or would you like to finish with?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's finish with it. Let's finish with it because, by the way, Jake is telling me now that the audio was both. When we were watching the Nest video of him, it was playing. The audio was playing from the Nest. And when we were watching his nicer video of like more color shots, it was Jake's audio on his mic. So in other words, you can get decent audio from Nest. Go ahead.
Just real quick, and I'll get back to Maureen, but can you imagine if he took those with him, this guy in the mask, and he's someone in the car where he starts talking to himself, still within Wi-Fi range of the house, what valuable information that could be on audio. But
yes,
if
the crime.
Well, the crime itself too, of course. Which this is all the crime.
But here's why I raised that. Here, it's not just for fun. So we're going to do an experiment here, not just for kicks, but because what did we see in the Brian Enton video of the front stoop? We saw that the vegetation and the blood was still there. Mm-hmm. They did not clean it up. What didn't we see? A smashed Nest camera.
He probably
We
put it
did
in his
not see
pocket.
any pieces of Nest camera smashed in the front or the back. And actually, so we're just going to see, I mean, just to see. They brought me a little cutting board. They brought me a hammer, and I am going to try to hammer this Nest camera just to see if it's hard. All right. So I have a hammer. I'm going to smash this Nest camera.
Be careful, Megyn.
I will.
Do you have glasses?
But just to see if it's easy.
Do you have glasses to put on?
Do I have what?
Do you have glasses to put on in case
I'll wear my reader glasses.
Yeah.
I'll wear my readers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put a flashlight in your mouth and a mask, and you could.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. No, it's not that easy to destroy.
But the camera part's
There,
probably
now
easy.
I've destroyed the lens.
Right.
All right, so now I've really wailed on it, and there's just tiny little pieces of glass and shards, but the actual camera itself is still pretty much intact. I should have warned the listening audience that was going to be right by the microphone. My bad. Thank you. So it did take some effort, and it's possible he took this, you guys, but where are the remnants of it? And if the camera went out, and when I smashed it, we had it online just as an experiment. It went offline when I smashed it.
Oh.
So there's no remnants of it, however, and it's gone. So you tell me whether you think Kash Patel possibly has shots of this guy stealing it, damaging it, or whether the guy was so dumb he took it eventually, put it in that backpack, and possibly they have actual pictures of the inside of the house and what went down that are waiting to be retrieved by the geniuses at Google.
Or the audio. Now,
or the audio.
The question is, did your producers, I mean, obviously they were there when you were smashing it. Could the information that Ashley Banfield provided to you, that it was in fact smashed and destroyed, could that have come from someone who was knowledgeable of the fact that they had video or audio of someone smashing the hell out of it?
That's a good question. International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There's a never-ending list of reasons gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. Gold can thrive during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced strategy. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider letting Birch Gold help you diversify with gold, so you too can have peace of mind regardless of the uncertainty. Text MK to 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.